Now on to the fun part, getting this to this backup script to post messages to Slack. Now, if you're unfamiliar with Slack and how the webhook integration works, I'm going to post a link to a video I made here right now. You can go click on that and find out how that works. But if you know how it works, just continue on. So I'm going to edit my script. I'm going to go down here and make another section. For Slack functions. And what I'm going to do here is create, first thing is you need your Slack URL. So I'm going to create a variable called Slack URL. Now, normally you would just type in your webhook URL here, but since I don't want to expose mine to the world, I put it in a file that I can reference and bring out. There we go. So that'll be my webhook URL. And then here's my two functions. I'll call one function Slack post good, and the other one function Slack post bad. Now I'm going to put a curl in here, just a simple curl, and content type application JSON -x post -d. And then now, for my actual JSON payload will be in there, and then Slack URL. So now to define the actual payload in there that I'm going to send, first thing I do is channel. I'm going to define where I want this message sent, and I have a room called DevOps, so I do hashtag dev_ops, and then username. I'm going to send it as the Postgres user. And I'll capitalize that. And then I will use the emoji icons. Now I've uploaded a custom one and I called it Postgres. I like uploading these custom emoticons because I think it make it work a little better so you know what information is coming from where. Attachments. Okay. And then I put in a fallback. Now whatever's in the fallback will show up in your pop-up message, your notification. So you want it to be short. Let's see, fallback, color. And I want good. Good is green. Danger is red. You can also put a hexadecimal color in there, but I'm just going to go with good for now. Fields. And let's see, title. DB backup succeeded. And value. Now I put if you put a /n anywhere, that's going to be a carriage return as far as how it's going to display in Slack. But if you do that, it won't actually put a blank line at first. So I just kind of put a period in there just to format it the way I want it to. And do that. Message. Let's see, dot. Okay, single dash, single quote, double quote. One. I did that right. Yeah. And then another double quote, and there we go. I got my cheat sheet on the side. And then we want to say short. Is true. if you say short is true, then what can happen is if you have more than one message, one can be on the left side. The first one will be on the left side, and the other one will be on the right side on the same row. Otherwise, I think they go one after another. And so I'll send a variable in for this message. Value and short. Oh, wait, it's true. A little happy with it. Okay. So there's that. Let me copy that. Let's see. 33, 53, yank. Well, let me copy the whole thing. 30. And we'll paste it down here into the bad section. And the way I'm going to do bad is I don't want to have multiple messages. I just want one. So I'll do that, Postgres, rather than database backup succeeded. I'll do failed. Database backup failed. I guess I could make that capital. Backup failed. And rather than good, danger. Okay, there we go. Now I just actually need to call this throughout my script whenever anything goes wrong or good. So put one here. Slack post bad. This script must be run as backup user, not ID-UN. Right? Yeah, there we go. I think that's right. And Slack post bad directory backup directory does not exist. Oh, help to the K there, huh? Directory backup directory cannot be written to by backup user. There we go. So there's those errors. Now errors when I actually have when I actually create the dump, the database dump. I can do Slack post bad pg dump all failed full file name. And I'll copy that and paste it after that guy. Same error. Now bzip. If bzip fails, we got to do one there too. Oh, not the same one though. Let's see what I wrote here. Bzip backup is corrupt. File full file name. Okay. I think that's all my errors. Now for the good stuff. Now I wanted a little bit extra bit of information here, so I'm going to actually let me copy and paste these two sections just so I don't mess it up. So here's my little bit of extra information I want. So I want to know how many databases are actually in there after the backup. So I just do an ls on the backup directory and then grep for anything that has .database in the name, and then do a word count on it. So that'll give me the number of the files in there that have .database in their name, and since it's my database folder, it should be accurate, right? And there's this guy where I want to print out all the names of the databases and how big they are in megabytes. So this will list all the information, and the block size will be M for megabytes. On that backup directory, it'll grep and just grab the .database files, and then I'll process that through an awk. So it'll print the 9th line, which is the database name, and then it'll say size, and the 5th one is the actual size in megabytes. But when it does that, it has a lot of carriage returns, and so I need to remove them and replace them with /n. Now what I do is I process it through sed, and sed will go to the end of the line and add a /n. And after this, I still have a bunch of carriage returns, and tr-d will remove all the carriage returns from the line and basically compact all this stuff so that it can be sent as a JSON file. I hope I said that right. Okay, now let me do a copy and paste on my actual Slack. So here's the Slack post good. It'll say database backup complete, carriage return, database location, time, and then there's my database information, the database count and the database information. Now you'll notice there's a bunch of spaces in here, and that's just to format it. So I fiddled with how long those should be so it actually kind of lines up when it actually posts into Slack. Your mileage may vary. Okay, so now this should work, in theory. But to test it out, and so I don't have to take up too much time, I'm going to comment out a few things real quick. So just as a test, I'm going to comment out the bzip check. There we go. And comment out the actual backup. Okay, so now it shouldn't back up, or it shouldn't bzip, but it'll post those messages. Now, just in case I screw up the JSON, which I tend to do like every day, I'm going to comment out these curls real quick and do an echo. So I get that information echoed back out to me to the screen. Okay. Now save it. So now if I run it as sudo, I should get an error, but it should also, the error should shoot out a JSON. Perfect, and it shot out a JSON. But we actually want to test that. Let me see what's the best way. I can just grab it and throw it on JSON lint, but I bet you there's a nicer command line way to do it. Let me check. Okay, I think I can use, there's a command out there called JQ. It's pretty neat. I know you can do a curl and grab JSON and format it so it looks a little bit nicer so you can read it, and you can also query on it really easily. So I'll do a sudo apt-get install JQ. I think that'll install it. Will you? Hopefully. And this is in Ubuntu 14.04. Okay, so it's installed. Let's see, which JQ? There we go. Now in my current state, even though there's JSON in there, that whole thing is not JSON. So if I pipe that into JQ, and I think you do dot, if I remember right. Let me see if that works. Parse error. Perfect. So it will find the error. Okay, so let me change my stuff real quick so it will only echo out that information as a test. So let me comment that out. Okay, that's the backup user. Yeah, so if I use it, I'll just echo that guy out, and I'll echo out the good one too. There we go. Well, why am I doing that? I'll just exit here. There we go. So now let's try it. Line 18. Something I didn't like about it. Okay, so why is it giving me grief? I copied this over to JSON lint as a test, and the JSON looks fine, but oh, I know why. Because I am spitting out this Slack URL right there. So it's not JSON, it has an extra little bit at the end. So let me kill that just to test. Yay, valid JSON, it didn't yell at me. Now if I run it as Postgres, I shouldn't get an error. Oh, didn't like it. Line 1, column 8. Oh, confirming bzip is valid. Okay. Okay, that's why. Hey, it's working. I just need to comment out that bzip. Try it now. Oh, did I do something there? Oh, there you go. Oh, so you're not doing anything. It doesn't like that. Oh. Okay, stop jumping around. Okay, just comment that whole thing out. Oh, we still got another echo in there. There we go. Hey, valid. Perfect. Okay, so they're valid. Good way to check it. Just, they still could be screwed up, but at least they're valid JSON. I've had problems with that in the past. It's kind of nice. JQ. Yay, life is good. I like the JQ tool. I don't use it enough. Let's get all that back. Oh. Stop it. Bring that echo back. Let's see what else I messed up here. Get all that back. There we go. But I want it to run fast. So let me echo out this bzip again. Oh. Echo out. Let me comment out the bzip again and the actual database backup so I can run it quickly. Okay. Now let's run it as the root user, which will give me an error, and hopefully this will post to Slack. Oh, if I actually use it rather than edit it. Oh, yay, heard a beep there. There we go. So yay, it posted to Slack. And so there's my emoticon. There is my pop-up. And there's my message. All right. Now let's see if I can run it as the Postgres user. Oh, syntax error, 160. Oh, right there. And there's the succeeded. In this case, it didn't really succeed, but you can see there's the successful message and there are the backups. Okay, so let me run, there's actually a few backups there so you can see them. But let me fix that and actually run a real one. remove all these comments and let it really run. Just whiz past the other one. There we go. Okay, so let's see, test. Let's run it as Postgres and let it run. And I'll make this bigger so we can actually see it. And this happened the other day where I didn't want to resize. There we go. So you can see, it doesn't have to be full screen. But you can see here it shows there's two databases in there, and here's their names and there's their sizes. You could also put something in here showing how much space is remaining on your hard disk or something like that, where they're backed up, but I just didn't bother doing that right now. But let this run. And there we go. So there's database backup succeeded. You can see where it was created, the name of the file, how long it took, 2 minutes and 56 seconds. And there's all the current files in there, and there's their sizes. Hooray. Now it wouldn't be fair to stop there, because we actually need to also update the purge script to actually post to Slack. So I'm going to go edit that. User bin purge, there we go. Okay, so I'll come down here and I'll add a new section just like the other one. Slack functions, and again Slack URL, and put your Slack URL on here, but I'm gonna cat my file. Slack URL. Okay, so same thing. We'll make two functions. Function Slack post good, and function Slack post bad. And the same thing, curl-h content type application JSON and -x post -d, and then the actual JSON. Okay. And since we already kind of went through this before, I'll just kind of cut and paste what I have and explain it. Maybe I'll just type it. Nah, it's nicer to slow it down a little bit and watch. Okay. So I'll come down here and we'll do channel. And same thing, I'm going to send it to DevOps. Well, that's the name of my room. Your room may be different. You put your room in there. So hashtag your room. Username. In this case, I'm going to change my username a little bit. Rather than Postgres, actually the box is doing it. So I have an Essex box here running at home. So I'll just say it's the Essex user. ESXi. Or I could say Ubuntu, I guess, too. Emojicon, and I actually have a VMware ESXi icon I made. Attachments. And we'll do the fallback. And let's see. database purge succeeded. Color good. Fields oops. And then I want to do, let me, set no paste? Anyway, no, it's not right. Set paste, here we go. And then I'm going to do title, db purge succeeded, value, db purge succeeded, message. And then I do, let's see, tick 1. There we go. And let me copy and paste that because that's always weird. No, don't do that. What? Ah. That's where I messed up. Okay, there we go. Did some weird command there, I guess, huh? Okay, value succeeded. Okay. Sorry about that. I was just trying to make sure I did this right. Quote, tick, quote. Yeah, okay. Because that always seems to get me. Short. And you want short so it lines up next to it. True. Okay. And then for this guy. Oh, look, I got a bunch of junk down here. And I must have pasted it weird, huh? Okay, anyway, it looks right. Ugh. Title. Let's do that again. 2. And short. Yeah, it looks good. Okay. Get those line numbers back. I'm going to copy and paste 26 to 50. 650. Yank. Boom. Okay. Now let's fix the bad. So we'll have the same thing here. We'll do failed. Failed. We want bad. Failed. Failed. Let me see. Did I give another one? No, I just did one. Get rid of that comma there and then wipe out this extra message. Okay, looks good. Now let's go down and edit. So come down here where we failed, and we'll go Slack post bad eb purge failed on directory backup directory. Okay. Now, similarly here we want some more information, right? So, let me cut and paste this so I don't mess it up. So here I'm going to get the size of the backup directory. So it's going to go through and it's going to look at the backup directory folder, and then it's going to do a little sed there, and it's going to get the size. So you can run that command and see what it does. It's pretty simple. Okay, and so then we'll do a database purge complete, how many days we've kept, how many days we're supposed to be keeping, how many files removed, and some database information. Great. Okay, so the purge should be pretty easy. But let me... I think we did pretty good last time, so let me just try it. So now if I... Well, this can run as root, so there's no problem with that. So if I do... I'm not going to bother testing the failure. So let's see if that succeeds. Not valid JSON. Curses. Okay. Maybe I will have to do it. And then echo that, and there. I guess I'm going to have to do all this JSON stuff, huh? I always mess something up. Oh. There's one obvious thing. It's not a JSON, but that needs to have that the colon. And so does that. Is there anything obvious there? Not that I'm catching. Okay. So now those will echo out. Yeah, I'll just force the bad one to happen. So that'll exit. Okay, let's just force the bad one first. Which looks fine. Okay, didn't yell about that. So the bad one's fine. Supposedly. So what's wrong with the good one? Now we'll see. So those should not happen, and echo, and we'll just put an exit. See what that looks like. Line 16, okay. Oh, no. That was my intention. Never mind. That's what I meant to do. I meant to do that. So that's right. So here I'm saying the backup folder percentage left on the hard drive. Well, yeah. Well, it's not percentage left. What's a good way to word that? Backup folder, hard drive, percentage used. Yeah, how about that? A little less confusing. Well, my script's written the other way, but you can fix it. Okay, so let me kill that, and boom. Okay, it worked. But not very exciting because it didn't wipe anything out because there's not enough files there that are old enough. So let's do that little trick I did to make files. For I in 1 to 9. If I can type, do sudo touch-d 16 days old, well, database, yep, dot test, there we go, so they're unique, and done. Okay. Oh, 16 days ago, not old. Ago, there we go. So now I got a bunch of old files. So now I'll purge them, remove 9, and it says days kept 15, files removed 9, and there's my backup folder, and there's my percentage of use. Okay, now to do a little more testing. Now I could let this run for several days and you'll see it back up and delete, but let me edit some things. Okay, so what I need to do is edit the purge. So I need to change, come in here and change M time to N minute. So that rather than every day, we'll do 15 minutes, but I'll keep everything else the same. So change that M time and that one, and that should be right. And then edit the cron job. Rather than do it at a specific time, I'll do it every so many minutes. So let me see, we'll do 2 unique. So I'll just comment these out. So what I'll do is you can come down here and I want to purge it every 15 minutes. Oh, there you go. Purge it every 15 minutes and back it up every 5. So now if I save this, every 5 minutes it will do a backup and every 15 minutes we'll do a purge. So eventually we'll see 3 of them being erased. But it's by minutes. In fact, right now if I do, let me remove that oddball guy there. Sudo remove 2015. Okay, we'll remove that guy. Okay. So there's the files I have. There's 3 of them. Those will be wiped out in the first purge. So here we go. Purge succeeded, and it will remove those 3. Oh, wait. Files remove 3. But I don't see 3 files removed. Okay, so I should have succeeded. Days kept 15, which in this case released 15 minutes. But it removed 3. And now it's doing a backup. As you can see, that file's getting larger. But it didn't remove those 3. Maybe I didn't edit that file right. Let me see. So, a couple things going there. So I'm going to do mn. No, that's right. Oh, there we go. Minute. That's why it didn't purge them, because I wrote it wrong. Okay, well, it'll purge those next 3 the next go around in 15 minutes. So I'm just going to let this record, and I'll fast forward it, but you'll see it should create 3 databases, and then purge them, and then create 3, and then purge them. So every 5 minutes a database will be made, and every 15 they'll be purged. Okay, and there we go. So we've seen that it's been backing up successfully and purging successfully. Let me go roll back here a little bit. So they increased, they wiped out 3, there's the 4, it keeps increasing. So there you go, it's just wiping out the last 15 minutes. So cool, worked like it should. Well, that's it for this video. Thanks for watching, and I hope you enjoyed it and found it useful.